You want your period back, but you're terrified of the scale creeping up, this video is for you because I have been where you are and I got through it. I'm going to tell you exactly the mindset shifts, exactly what I did to get past this whole weight gain is the worst thing in the world and I'm gonna die thing that you have in your head. You might keep wondering, is this all fat gain? Is it water? Is it gonna end? Am I going to continuously go up pant sizes every year, every month? Like, when does this hell end? And it does end, moral of the story, but I'm gonna get into mentally how to deal with it. And I remember exactly where you are right now. I was in the change room buying some new jeans because it no longer fit me from the past. I was in the change room of American Eagle. It's where all the cool kids got their jeans, and I was buying the next level up from what I was previously. And I don't know why the change rooms have the most horrendous lighting anyways, but I remember I was just distraught by the cellulite on my legs, going up a pant size. I felt like a failure. I felt like all of the hard work that I put into my body was absolutely washed away. I knew that I was doing it for good reasons, of course, because health over aesthetics any day of the week. However, it doesn't discredit how hard it is to see your body change. Okay, so you're not alone in that. So you may feel really discouraged right now, but let me assure you, it does end. It really does. I'm gonna take you over to my little Loom video in just a minute to go by the step-by-step process of how you can at least make this as enjoyable as possible, okay? So I will see you over at my computer. Let's get into the fun stuff. Everything that anyone has been waiting for is it all fat gain? And the answer to that is obviously not. There's going to be a lot of inflammation. It's going to be a lot of water because your body is replenishing the glycogen stores in your muscles and in your body, and that adds a lot of water weight. So you might feel swollen, you might feel puffy, and that is very normal, and it does come down. The inflammation does come down once you restore your hormones, but it is an uncomfortable part of the process, and exactly what you want is on the other side of that discomfort. Okay, so keep going. Some of it is obviously going to be fat because likely your body needs some essential fat, and it's going to restore your hormone balance. Estrogen increases fat storage on purpose, and so if you're coming from a place that you're underweight, you maybe have gone through an ED and you are underweight for your body. And I was actually on TikTok not long ago where I saw a video from a popular creator, and she was just wondering, all of her doctors were like, you're a healthy BMI, you don't need to gain any weight, I don't know why your hormones aren't balanced yet, I don't know why your period is missing. And let me tell you this, BMI is bullshit. It was created by a mathematician, not a physician, so that should be an explanation in and of itself. But BMI is a scale, and I have actually lost my period on a higher end of BMI in terms of like the healthy range, because I do have a lot of muscle on my body, which makes me like on the verge of overweight, but I am healthy. So what your BMI and comparing that to another person's BMI, they are not the same. So you might lose your cycle at a higher BMI than another person might, okay? And it very bad metric to go off of, okay? So don't go off BMI, go off the fact that you don't have your cycle back, right? That's the biggest factor in terms, it's a huge red flag that your body is not feeling safe enough to ovulate, it's not feeling safe enough to have that cycle, okay? So as much of it is not all fat, some of it will be. And honestly, you got to get over it, right? That with that fat comes gaining more muscle. It comes gaining your life. You gain your social life. There's so much to gain along with the fat. And we are trained so deeply to only look at our body changing as fat. So even if it is water and you logically know it's water, we're trained to see it as fat. So just be aware that your mind is playing tricks on you and not every thought is going to serve you, okay? Piggybacking on that. So right now, you might relate a lot to this pie chart, okay? And the fact that you are asking the question, is my life going to be over if I gain weight? There is no possible way that I can gain any weight. It's because your self-image looks a lot like this. So you have a lot to lose if you put all of your self-worth on how your body externally looks to the world, right? So if 85% of your self-confidence, your self-worth is put into the bucket of, oh, I'm lean, I'm fit, I'm known as the fit girl, like everyone comments on my body and I'm really scared to let go of that. We really have to let that part go. And along the journey of getting your cycle back, you do learn so much more about yourself to a point where your pie chart starts to look a lot more like this, right? And if you relate anything to like your relationships failing or not wanting to date people, your career, like the brain fog that comes along with your hormones being downregulated. I had a client open up to me not too long ago that her marriage almost ended in her ED days because she just couldn't fathom, like it really takes over your mind and you don't really realize what it's doing to everyone else outside of you until you heal. Okay. And this is exactly why. It's because you can't see anything else, right? And gaining that weight might actually get you to this pie chart where you can start to date, right? Or your relationships get better because you're now going out to date night and you're not freaking out over the carbs that you're eating, over the excess calories that might be in this food that you ate, or how much oil the chef used, right? You can then have experiences. Another client of mine, we had a conversation where it's so interesting looking back to when I was in a very restrictive mindset where I'd go on vacation and all I'd want is to come home to my routine. Like I couldn't even enjoy it. And we bonded on the lies that we would say. Like we would be like, oh yeah, I am so sad that this vacation is over. Meanwhile, we were actually very stoked because I could go back to my regimented routine where I could control literally everything. And that robbed me of having experiences. It robbed me of actually enjoying vacations, right? Not only because I was consumed by when I was going to exercise or what I was going to eat, how much weight I was gaining in that moment. I couldn't really fully enjoy the time with my family. I couldn't enjoy the experiences I was experiencing. So being in this pie chart, you're robbing yourself of all of that. Right? Same with your career. Like if you have brain fog and your brain isn't functioning properly, you have to understand that not having your cycle is because of an energy deficit. And your cycle is not the only thing that gets impacted by that. Your digestion gets impacted by that. Your brain gets impacted by that. And you can see that through your brain fog, right? So when you don't have enough energy, your body won't delegate it to your brain. And so you can't show up to work like you want to. You can't start the business because you're so exhausted. You can't concentrate. And it's very, very hard to have any sort of career. Like for myself, starting my business, there was absolutely no way in goddamn hell that I was going to do it in my period recovery days because again, like it was such a small sliver of my pie chart, my self-worth. And going through recovery was honestly one of the best things that ever happened to my mental health and like growing as a human being and growing as a person because I was able to start this and I was able to help people like you watching this video right now. So do it. Freaking do it. As well as relationships, right? You can't pour out of an empty cup and your cup has been empty for a very long time right now. Okay. And then eventually your body and weight become such a small sliver of life. And what you realize is, and also if you're a woman and you want to get pregnant, or if you are like, we're going to get old, we're going to get wrinkly. And if you don't fix this now, if you don't fix this self-image issue, life is going to be so hard to be transitioned out of, right? Because when you get pregnant, you're going to grow, you're going to gain weight, you're probably going to have stretch marks, and it's going to be even worse. And you also don't want to pass that down to your daughter, your future daughter, if you have one. And so if your sliver looks a lot like this, when your body and your weight and your body starts to change, that gets ripped away from you, you have all these other aspects of yourself to lean into and to be grateful for. Next section. How do you know if you need more weight? So we've already established that BMI is bullshit and you should not base recovery on the fact that you are a healthy BMI. Okay, a little bit louder for the people in the back. Some signs that you might need some more weight. If you've already taken a few steps, you've already started to eat more, you've already started to lower your intensity of working out, if you gained a little bit of weight, but you're scared of going a little bit over, here are some signs that you should pull the trigger and frickin' do it. 1, your period is still missing. That's a pretty clear sign. Low body temperature, you're always cold, your hands and feet are always cold, low libido, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety. Yes, that is connected to your hormones. Binging and restricting, that cycle is also a sign that you aren't eating enough and might need to gain some more fat, because our leptin levels are lower and our ghrelin levels are higher. And it's just your body's way. For reference, leptin is your fullness hormone, so it signals to your brain like, hey, we're good. And ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Okay, so it's going to signal to your brain and it's going to pop all of these food thoughts in your brain to get you to eat. Okay, so when you have enough fat on your body, it's so much easier to regulate your hunger and fullness because you're not having all of these food thoughts because your body is like, hey, we're good. You know, we can cruise, and you don't have to be in this constant hunger and constant thinking about food. You're scared of food. That is a sign that 1, maybe you need to work on your relationship with food as well, along with your body. And last but not least, your period is still missing, my friend. That is the biggest sign that you might need to gain a little bit more weight. And you don't have to go and blow up into a whale. I know that's a big fear of everybody, and I don't want to discredit that. That was a big fear of mine when I was going through this as well. But it truly is not going to happen. Like, your body is not that stupid. It's a very smart thing, and it just doesn't happen like that. Okay. Last section. How do you deal with all of this? How do we deal with the weight gain? The question everyone has been waiting for. First thing I like to do is unfollow unhelpful accounts. So if there's any like bikini competitor people you follow, I suggest unfollowing them, because we can get into that comparison game where it's like, why can she be healthy and I can't at this low weight? And truth be told, they are probably not healthy as you think they are. Okay. Instagram is a highlight reel, and if you mentally cannot deal with people sharing their highlight reel with you, just unfollow them or mute them. If they're your friend, just like mute and just not see their stuff, but you're still following them. That's an option. And it just gets rid of the clutter in your brain, gets rid of the comparison. So if you don't give it the option to compare, you can't compare to anything, okay? And it just improves your cadence towards your own programming and your own journey, okay? So stay in your own lane. Wear clothes that fit now, not from before. You can throw out your ED clothes right now because those are not helpful and you're never going to fit into them again, and that's okay. It's totally okay. And you know what? It can be an excuse to go on a shopping spree. But it is a game changer when you actually wear clothes that fit you, because you will then go out to work, you'll go out with friends, and you're not going to be thinking about how tight your pants are or how your shirt is sitting weird on your belly, okay? If you don't give yourself the chance to think about it, you have all the more chance to just be in that moment and be with the people that you're with and make those memories, okay? Fuel your body with foods you actually like. You don't have to just like go from eating chicken and rice to eating cupcakes and donuts if you don't actually like cupcakes and donuts, right? Use this time as an opportunity to figure out what you actually like to eat. And I know it can be really exciting where it can be exciting. It can also be very fearful, transitioning from being like the thinnest, leanest, probably clean eater, low carb kind of person, and then transitioning and eating carbs or eating these foods that you past believed would make you fat or would make you gain fat, right? So really be in tune, like practice intuitive eating while you're on this journey as well, because that will set you up for an even more successful outro of your journey, in terms of now you'll be able to intuitively eat and actually genuinely know what foods you like and what foods like you want to make for meal prep, what foods you don't, rather than just blindly going and like, oh, so-and-so told me to eat this to get my period back, so this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm sorry. No, like, this is your own journey, and you're going to like foods that I don't like, and I'm going to like foods that you don't like, and that's totally okay. Set some motherfucking boundaries, my friends. So typically, HA ladies, we're people pleasers, we're empaths, we are like, I don't need any help. Please, I can do it myself. Independent motherfuckers. And so with that, we say yes to a lot of things. We let people stomp on our boundaries and say it's fine. Okay. And that needs to stop. Okay. Not just for period recovery and not just for your stress levels and lowering your cortisol, but just for life in general. You saw I was talking about the self-image pie chart, right? And if your pie chart looked a lot like the one on the left, that is a very clear sign that you need more boundaries and you don't actually know who you are as a person, right? Because you have opinions, you have likes, you have dislikes. What's driving you to just agree with everyone and not cause conflict is the fact that you want to be liked and likable and agree with everyone and be a people pleaser. And if anyone has any kind of conflict with you, you're like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Okay, set boundaries, be your own person. Last but not least, find your tribe, get some help. I will be leaving my coaching application down in the description if you are interested in working with yours truly to get your cycles back and become the boss ass bitch that you deserve to be. That will be left there. However, community is huge. We are social people. We like to have like a tribe, right? And period recovery tends to be very lonely. Likely no one in your life knows what you're dealing with. They don't know why you're gaining weight. They're like, oh my gosh, Susie, you've gained weight. You've let yourself go at Christmas dinner. And you're like, well, shit, have I let myself go? When you know deep down, like, this is the journey that you need to take, and outside opinions are just like knives in your chest. And it's very normal to feel like that. But having a community of like-minded ladies and having that tribe of your own so you can relate to people and you don't feel so crazy is honestly game changing. And I highly recommend, even if you don't like join a program or join my program, to find Facebook groups, to find Reddit groups. I don't know where else people find groups. Just find some people who are there to relate, and you will be so much better off. Okay. And that concludes the video, my friends. I hope you found value. If you have anything else that you want me to cover in future videos, please leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.